I've been doing a video series on my favorite movies of all time, and right now we are on video number 3, The Matrix. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and I've been doing this series of my favorite movies of all time, my top 5 favorites specifically. I've been doing one video per movie because I just want to make sure I have the time to talk about some of my favorite movies ever. And like I said in my intro, this is The Matrix. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's Superman music. Okay, anyway. This is fantastic. This is actually my Ultimate Matrix Collection box set, so it's got all 3 Matrix movies plus the Animatrix. And, you know, I have to say, when it comes to the Matrix sequels, I don't hate them as much as I think the rest of the world hates them, because I think those sequels get a lot of hate, but I think they get a lot of hate because the first one had such an original quality to it, and everything was so mysterious, and we're being introduced to this world, and now you get to the second 2, that's not what's happening. So I think if you accept that's not what's happening, they're still weaker than the first one, but I think you could enjoy them more because we're trying to progress with the character. But the second 2 did not make my list of favorite movies of all time, and neither did the Animatrix, but the original Matrix movie is my favorite of all time, which is why I'm distressed by this news of a Matrix reboot. It's too soon, Warner Brothers. I mean, I could go into a huge rant about it, but why? The honest answer is it's too soon. We need about another 20 years between now and, you know, the release in 1999 before we could go ahead and decide to reboot it. That's how awesome this movie is, that it's still here today, that we can still think about it, talk about it, the graphics, the CGI, it all holds up. It all holds up, number one, because it was done well, and it looks really good. It was one of the first movies to use bullet time, if not the first movie to use bullet time. And honestly, I still think that bullet time holds up better than other movies that have tried to replicate bullet time nowadays, where you show something in slow motion and you're trying to like follow what they're doing. So I mean, it's just The Matrix did such a fantastic job with all of that. It's another reason it's too soon to go ahead and reboot this franchise. Because as much as this movie came out in 1999, almost 20 years ago, holy cow, almost 20 years ago, it's still too soon to reboot this movie. The Matrix is awesome. Let's not retell that origin again. So one of the reasons that this movie continues to be one of my all-time favorites is because of its rewatchability. It's so deep in its story and its philosophy, and yet I don't think this one is snooty. I just think it has great philosophy, smartly written into it, and every time I go back and watch this, I can keep finding something different. Now look, coming from the perspective of a Christian, I'm a Christian, I watch this movie, and some of the things I see just blow my mind. For instance, the picture of Neo living inside of a prison, not knowing that his entire life has been lived in a prison. But the Matrix itself, what he views as the real world, is the prison. And the way out is to literally, in this movie, be born again. I mean, he wakes up in what, that weird gooey birthing tube? I mean, what an amazing, you know, he's bald and all that stuff. So it's like, it's really like he's a newborn babe, completely born again into a whole nother world. And once he's born again into that world, he is freed from the lies and the prison and the stuff of that fake world. But now he's got to retrain his mind. He's got to renew his mind and learn the rules of this new world. And once he goes into the Matrix, he's now in it, but he's not of it. And because of that, he can freeze bullets. And then, you know, you also have that awesome Messiah picture where he dies and rises again. I mean, as I go through the movie, those are the types of things I see, including this one scene where Neo's getting a tour of the Nebuchadnezzar for the first time. The camera goes across the plaque, Nebuchadnezzar, and right below it, it says Mark, Roman numeral number 3, number 11. And then in the Bible, Mark 3, verse 11 says, "And the demons threw themselves at his feet, crying, 'Thou art the Son of God.'" I don't know if that was intentional, but it is something that I found while watching that movie, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So my point is, like, when I watch the movie through that lens, I mean, that's the kind of philosophy and things I can find. And every time I go back and rewatch it, I feel like I could just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's one of the things I love about The Matrix. It is so utterly rewatchable. Even though you've already seen it and all that stuff, it's just smartly written, and you can keep uncovering another layer whenever you go back. On top of the fact, the fight scenes, man, oh my gosh, are the fight scenes awesome. When I first got this movie when I was a teenager and I got it on DVD, there was this special feature called Follow the White Rabbit. So whenever this white rabbit appeared on the corner of the screen, and when you were watching it in this feature, you clicked enter on your remote, it would go into them filming the scene, and you would like watch the behind the scenes, how they got it all going. My favorite things to watch were all the fight scenes, especially the Morpheus and Neo fight, watching them choreograph that, watching them film that. Oh my gosh, it was intense, and it gives you so much more respect about how hard it was to shoot those scenes, how much work the actors, the crew, the directors, and everybody went through to put this together. It was so incredibly amazing. However, in one of the scenes, I was watching them film that subway fight between Neo and Agent Smith, and when Neo does his backflip to get off the train tracks and away from the train, yeah, in the special features while they're filming it, he grabs the wires and he pulls himself up to do his flip. Then in the movie, I literally see him grab the wires. I could see the wires himself, and I could see him pull himself up. I can now never unsee that. That's kind of sad. But even in spite of stuff like that, this is just one of my absolute favorite movies, and I really have no idea what else to add to it, other than just to reiterate, it is so well written. It is a fantastic story. It is a great origin story about this guy discovering a new world, discovering himself, and discovering how to operate in this new world with these new rules. It's a fantastic movie about faith and renewing your mind. It's an awesome movie about believing that you're more than just this flesh, and there's just so many layers on top of the fact that it looks great from 1999 till now. It completely holds up. The fight choreography is amazing, and so yeah, I mean, what more can I say? It's like an A+ movie for me. Love The Matrix. One of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. How did you feel about The Matrix? Is it one of your favorites of all time? And what are some of your top 5 favorite movies of all time? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button, become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click that bell, get notified the moment I drop a new video. Please like and share this video. And I got new videos coming out. Next week, you'll see my number 4 video going over my top 5 favorite movies of all time. So lots of cool stuff on the way. Matix and I were going through a series on each other's channels reviewing the Fast and the Furious movies in that franchise, and I'd never seen them before, so it's kind of fun for me to go through and review these movies. So lots to check out. Make sure you check it all out. I'm Durbin. Thank you for watching Durbania.